Blessings. This is Pine Grove News Live. Yep. Actually, we're a little bit early. Nope. Now it is 6:00 p.m. on the East Coast, right on the money. Oh, there's something I got to do. What am I doing wrong? Nothing yet. Anyways, let's see what to talk about. Well, yeah, you all should know what's happening out there. I know a lot of people that come in here listen, they already know what's going on. Put this in there for a second or two. Fair Use Act. It's allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. That we are recording on all fronts. Very good. Unfortunately, I gotta shut the window while my neighbor does his lawn. I mean, everything is perfect timing. You know what I mean? It is 85 degrees today. I believe somebody said that that's what we have. I'm gonna go check current temperature here. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, it's not 76. It says it's 76. It feels a lot warmer than that, but the sun is behind the clouds. Very different. Yesterday, actually, the weekend was pretty good. It was in the mid 70s. It didn't feel as warm as it does right now. It says it's 76. I'm sure we reached this yesterday, and it was just pleasant yesterday. Today it was not, maybe with some humidity, but either case, it's going to be 20 degrees colder tomorrow. It's going to be 65. That's the high they're predicting for tomorrow. So, in either case, man, weather is all over the place. Yes, some people say the planet is slowing down. Some people say, well, there's actually data proving it, that the true north is not above the North Pole anymore. I mean, it moved over into Russia. And those things will, they will certainly create problems on the earth, And is there something out there, that is making, the earth change like this? Or is it just something that happens every couple thousands of years? I mean, maybe longer. Who knows? We haven't been around that long. A few thousand years, that's it. In any case, let's get right to it then. I want to talk about these this weather things that is going on now. All right, before we get to the weather thing, which is very important, I've got this from California.gov. Okay, for anybody who wants to know about the Oroville Dam, and here's an update for that. Okay, according to the Department of Water Resources, California Data Exchange Center, we have down here outflow. Okay, water coming out of the dam is at 11,777 cubic feet per minute. Inflow is 11,458 cubic feet per second. What did I say, minute before? But anyways, that's like difference of 321 cubic feet per second. Okay, coming in. So there's more going out, okay, than is coming in. So if that is a true assessment and true data, then the dam is lowering. Or at least, there's more going out than coming in. Is good. That is an update for that. Now, whether you want to believe it or not, I mean, there are the Oroville Dam live feeds that I've been at a couple of them. You can watch the cameras. If you've got nothing else better to do than stare at a camera, switching back to 3 views, then go ahead. But we're still watching them. There's still rain that's supposed to be coming today for them over there. We'll see. We're monitoring it. With that, let's get on to the weather in other parts of the country. And some very big things are happening in the middle of our country. Many big time warnings. Schools are being shut down. Before we get to that, I don't want to put this. I don't know why this is here first. That's not where I wanted to. But let's go to this. This is from End Time Headlines, and this is the alert. This is where I wanted to start. The plains and the Midwest on alert for strong, long-track tornadoes tomorrow. So follow along. There's going to be a couple alerts for the same area, and yes, Texas is in there too. Severe thunderstorms will continue to plague parts of the plains, Midwest early this week with tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds, and flooding rain. Yeah, what else is new? This includes a threat of strong tornadoes Monday from Oklahoma into western portions of Texas. This multi-day severe weather outbreak began Friday and Saturday in the plains and Midwest ahead of initial jet stream disturbance. Another energetic weather system will ride that jet stream into the plains Monday, when a high impact of threat of severe storms and flooding rain is likely. NOAA Storm Prediction Center has issued a moderate of severe thunderstorms in parts of the southern plains for Monday, today. Despite the modest sounding terminology, this implies an outbreak of severe thunderstorms in parts of northwestern Texas, Oklahoma. Okay, that's your first warning. But you know what happened today? They did mention that there would be afternoon thunderstorms here in southern New England, northern Connecticut. And as I was going home around 3 p.m., leaving my work, opened the door. I mean, the sun was shining through the cracks, so I started hearing something. It sounded like the drain was emptying the water. So I opened the door, and it was a monsoon that was coming down. Kind of like one of those microbursts, because basically I didn't see any clouds that warranted this type of precipitation in this area. It was just there. The sun was shining. I mean, we remember those storms as kids, right? I remember them, standing out in front of my home, down by where the water drains. And these thunderstorms used to happen, a lot, and during the summer. I mean, that's what you expect. Lightning, vivid lightning, thunderstorms, and then the sun would come out. And it would be, sunny out, and then you'd have a downpour. We actually enjoyed that. Standing out there in a warm day and then getting drenched by this warm water, it was actually kind of refreshing. So that was a weird thing anyway, that I was thinking about. But now that I remember, I mean, we did it as kids. There's nothing new about it. Nothing new. So let's see. Let's continue on. There have been other warnings. Okay, well, let's go to this one. This is from Mike Morales. He does a lot of weather YouTube videos. We'll listen to him for about a minute and a half here of some other things that are going on.
All right, guys, welcome into Above Ground World News Live. This is like a road live. Anyway, I tried to pull a live stream off, just couldn't do it. No matter where I go, I can't targeting my phone. They're targeting into what's going on. We have tons of military assets being evacuated over in Oklahoma. They got the AWAC planes are being evacuated from several different military bases. I don't even know this is out on the mainstream news yet, but they are evacuating all this stuff because of these tornadoes that are inbound. These are fabricated weather events. And these are going to be some bad boys. They got them set as a TORCON 9, and this is just happens to be the same day, but like 10 years or however many years ago when the Moore, Oklahoma hit. And there's a reason why Moore,
Yeah, and that's why they're canceling school for tomorrow, because they don't want a repeat of that. You remember the children that were caught in a building and in the school, and they had to dig a lot of them out. But he is one for that. There's a few out there that stress the fabricated side of the weather. And if you, whether you believe or not that man can manipulate the weather, well, you should be paying attention. You really should, because let's see if somebody else talks about this. Got Dabu7 in here, but Chris over at AMT, I think he mentioned that briefly. But let's go on. So there are, military assets being moved. These, I don't know what do you call them? Archon or 9 or something like that. Anyways, multiple school districts closed Monday due to risk of severe weather. I mean, I heard it was today and tomorrow, but yeah, well, they were closed today due to the anticipated severe weather. More school officials said they believe this is the best decision for our students, staff, and family, as their health and safety a priority. I agree, but how do you know that these tornadoes that are supposed to be of unprecedented strength and what do you want to call it? Multiple. They're calling for multiple, which in a given year, I guess they can have multiple tornadoes in a single day in a storm. But it just seems like they're able to pinpoint all this stuff all the more than they used to. So I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. And if they're saying that there's that type of weather going to come there, well, then you better be prepared for that. That's for sure. This is from the Hal Turner radio show. Let's see. Deadly emergency warning. TORCON 10 declared for Texas and Oklahoma. So I've never heard that before, TORCON. I mean, it just doesn't mean that it's never happened before. Just I haven't heard it. I don't live in those areas. I don't get those warnings, but I guess that is the top of the scale. The top. Most of them are what do they call them? TORCON 9s. Still pretty hard, pretty extreme. So the tornado condition 10 has been declared for North Texas and Western Oklahoma by the National Weather Service. This is the highest, most severe tornado conditions warning available, one that has not been issued anywhere for 10 years. Residents are urged to remain close to shelter all day today and tonight. Long-lived and violent tornadoes are assured to develop. There they go, assured to develop. They know that they're going to develop. And so we're going into detail here for a reason. There are some things that we need to learn if we don't know, and just understand. Because I mean, look at this. Look at these things being built up. I mean, Mike Morales, the first video that you heard, he goes and tears these storms apart, and there are other people that do this as well. There's one Redwood Pacific. Who's done it. I listened to him before I listened to any of these. Somebody just sings, we have cloud making industrial size buildings that make clouds, okay, that make this stuff. I put out a video on it before. Shows you all the ways that they can do it and make clouds and make the moisture. And then they got HARP to, create the heat and dissipate the moisture, or create heat and smash it into a cold front. And they got storms. I mean, they know how to manipulate the weather. They've been talking about it for a while. They've been able to do it for decades. Decades. So as we go along, you're going to listen to the, coincidence, you might call it, between the weather and what's happening with our food around the world. Okay, this one is from Dabu 7. I'm going to play that for about a minute and a half. Floods levy over 1 million acres of crops damaged or destroyed in Argentina. Big story. Their crops.
Stories like this that show that this weather phenomenon that we're seeing around the globe really is global. And it's in my opinion that this is being pushed by man.
Global, yep.
The signs and the signatures that we're seeing connected to these storms, the way that they're spinning up, the areas that they are targeting, especially heavily populated areas and areas that are farmland, big time, cropland, not just in other countries, but obviously here in the United States, we have taken a hit where only 30% of our corn has been planted this year. A lot of the farmland still underwater, and they're saying it's one of the biggest disasters we have ever faced in terms of agriculture in this country.
Yes.
Now, we take a look around the globe, we see places like Iran, Afghanistan, other places throughout Europe that have seen severe flooding. We've even seen it in Saudi Arabia. We've seen India get hit with torrential downpours here recently, right after they said they weren't going to buy American military weapon systems and they bought the Russian systems. They get nailed by that cyclone right up their alley.
Did you hear that? Kind of coincidental, don't you think? No, it's probably not. That's that between that and the DO weapons, I've seen. We witnessed last year when China tried to put their currency in the basket, so to speak, as a world currency, and they want nothing else to do with the US dollar. They tried to sell it off and tried to go to the gold standard. Matter of fact, they even started not taking the dollar in some of their ports. And you know what happened to them? Remember that big explosion over there in a so-called chemicals plant? Well, we broke that down many times and come to find out that it was a directed energy weapon attack at first, and then the explosions. I mean, we saw explosions on a couple that were watching it from their apartment window, and it was just humongous. It was the biggest explosion I've ever seen, and we witnessed that.
Right on them. Argentina now dealing with severe floods affecting many of the provinces, and they're saying that 1.5 million acres of crops have been destroyed.
There you go. It's not just in the United States, but that's pretty important. Remember of all the things that are going on over in the West Coast now. Look at the dams that are in disrepair, need of repair. Some are, frantically calling out the need for repair before it breaks. And it's not just the Orville Dam. The Pedro, and there's another dam just north of Orwell. There are many dams in California. What have I calculated to be? But how many? There's all right, I got a list over on my PC of a list of dams and reservoirs in California. And it's just a Wikipedia thing. List of dams and reservoirs in California. Go Google that yourself. And it goes and says that there are over 1,400 named dams and 1,300 named reservoirs in the state of California. That's 2,700 bodies of water that is being held back and what's holding them back. Some of these things, earthen dams, and other ones are cement, and so on and so forth. I mean, it's a huge, huge list. But many of them. I was looking at one built in 1852. Here's one, 1935. Let's get to the 1896, the Bear Gulch Reservoir, San Mateo. You got other ones, 1948, Big Dry Creek Reservoir. And that's just, let's talk about the ones in like Los Angeles. 1931, the Big Tujunga Reservoir. 1939, the Boca Reservoir. 1927, the Bowman Lake. And 24, 1928. Let's see, there was a few of them, 1800s. I'm gonna find it. It's a big, huge list, but in any case, some newer ones, 1971, 75. See, I'm trying to find 1859. I guess it was updated in 1948. The French Lake Reservoir in Nevada. No, it says Nevada, but we're supposed to be looking at California dams. I don't know why that's in there. But anyway, 1913, the Huntington Lake, Fresno. It's a gravity type dam, whatever it is. Big creek. So, you can look at that. You can look at, I don't know why this is coming up already, too. All right, well, we'll go through with them, okay? Because we want to get into what we're going to talk about in the end. Yeah, just one second. I'm trying to got cut off here. I got some other news in the way of continuing the story. Like this one right here, from Strange Sounds. Global flood crisis ahead as extreme weather events devastate crops and fields around the world. Not just happening in the U.S. Nope, extreme weather events are devastating crops and thus the food business around the world. From Australia to North Korea and Argentina, and here are the latest reports of food shortage around the world. The world's 200 wealthiest people have as much money as about 40% of the global population, and yet 850 million people have to go to bed hungry every night. Excuse me. So Australia is normally the biggest wheat exporter in the southern hemisphere, but the prolonged drought has fed its grain crop in recent years. Has fried, I don't know what, has fried its grain crop. Okay, so if these crops are not being flooded out, they're being strangled out without no water, being dried up, fried up, whatever. See, due to the worst drought in 116 years, high protein wheat in a short supply. I think Dabo just said it, only 30% of the corn will be planted this year? Something like that. You're talking about other places. I mean, we're in trouble, folks. It's going to, come this winter, along with these, headlines out there. So these headlines are out there, and they're going to do a couple things. Inform you, and then they're going to inform you about increase in prices. They're coming, and they're already here. They've been raising prices on the food like you would not believe. And it's far from being over. Wait till the winter gets here when we use up, whatever food storages that there were. I see somewhere along the line there's going to be some kind of we call it rationing. So, you can look for that too this winter. I'd start saving. You should always be, preparing, saving up food and water. Flood, hail, and bad weather affects fruits and vegetables in Italy. Okay, Remember that? We put out that weather a few days ago. Whole stolen fruit fields have been destroyed. The watermelon seedlings planted a few weeks ago have been broken by hail. Planting in France slowed down by extreme cold temperatures. Corn sowing in France slowed again this week, losing its lead to last year. After persistent cold weather continues to hamper the Central European nations' planting efforts. France is the third largest corn exporter in the world, meaning a delayed or poor harvest will have a pronounced impact on global markets. Severe drought devastates crops in Yucatan, Mexico. Drought in the Mexican state of Yucatan has put the agrarian sector up against the ropes. More than 3,000 producers have been unable to save their crops due to the lack of irrigation and infrastructure. According to the president of the Association of Horticulturalists of Yucatan, Jose Filomeno, if the drought lasts longer, a large part of the state's harvest will be lost, and they will have to bring food from other parts of the country to supply the demand on the population of Yucatan. The lowest rainfall in 100 years leaves millions at risk of starvation in North Korea. Of course, they've always been on the brink of that. Heard many stories of what they feed their military. So North Korea received just 56.3 milliliters, that's 2.21 inches of rain or snow from January to May 15th, the lowest amount since 1917. Spring's record late arrival in parts of the U.S. has catastrophic consequences for the food industry. Food prices set to rise. Yeah, they're putting it out there so that you are aware of it. Calendar might have said it was spring more than a month ago. Yeah, I don't know. But the physical signs of it around us told a much different story. According to the officials' data, this was the latest arrival of spring in 38 years. 38 years of records for the past Kansas and Oklahoma. Portions of Washington and Oregon also saw the latest spring start on record. I thought it was a normal spring, and we haven't seen it in a few years, at least 5, maybe plus years. We go from winter to being cold to a week or two of just rain all the time, and then it hits come early April, late April, early May. We're into the 90s. We have heat waves. I've had many heat waves in May, but it's already the 20th, and except for today. We haven't seen too much above 74 degrees at night. 38 degrees a week ago at night. I think something's changing, folks. Just letting you know. Be aware. Prepare, Be prepared. Even if not with food and water, with blankets. Make sure things are just changing. Make sure if you go out at night, if it's hot during the day, it's just like, some people live in the desert. It's hot during the day, but don't throw away your jacket because the night will come and it gets really cold. So very extreme changes in there. I don't know, maybe the whole planet is going to turn into a desert. Cracks are appearing in the edifice of modern agriculture. Australia's biggest grain producer's revenue collapses after horrific crop losses. On and on and on. The Watchers, worst drought in 116 years hits Australia wheat production. Just read that. Causing severe grain shortage in what is usually an outstanding surplus producing country. And remember, put that and what's happened to us here in the United States together. Okay? And we just read this somewhere too. Devastating drought in the state of Yucatan, Mexico. Floods, hail, bad weather affect fruits and vegetables. I just read that in that one article. I didn't have to get the rest of these things. And on top of that, we have stuff like this. Vienna beef recalls more than 2,000 pounds of hot dogs due to possible metal contamination. I don't know what they're putting in our food, people, but Maxwell House Coffee, which is supposed to be on that list for the Cinemex. And lately, in the past 3 containers, we are using it. I pray over everything that I eat and drink. I'm covered under the blood of Jesus as well as you should be. It won't affect you. Not what goes in mouth. But anyway, I have found brown, it looks like wood chips in the bottom of my coffee cup. I have taken pictures and the second time that I had it, because the first time I put it on a paper towel and somebody threw it away. And so I got some samples in here away from prying eyes and pictures of it that I am going to be sending off to Maxwell House soon. I'd be aware of that, people. I actually, maybe I took a picture of it. Quickly, I will go down here and see if it's in these pictures that I downloaded just yesterday. Just want to see if it's in any of these. Should be the recent ones. This might be it right here. No, that looks like a bug. Let's take a look. It was, yeah, that's a bug. All right. No, not there. Bear with me one more second. Should be under the recent ones, but they don't have recent. Some of these are older than the other ones. All right, so come on, be there. I took like 2 pictures. These are the ones that look like it. No, they're just little bugs. I've been taking pictures of bugs lately and seeing what they look like blown up. You know what I mean? But the different, just weird creatures, man. I would hate to meet any of these creatures if they actually were, our size. That would be horrific. That would be very, very scary. Okay, here it is, right here. Here's one of them. Now I was clear on the last one. So this was in the bottom of my coffee. These are the pieces that I saved. I think there's another piece here. Yeah, this is in a better focus. And of course, when I take it out of the coffee and I touched it with some device, it was flexible. But I think that that's because it's been in the coffee, floating around. And once it's dried, I'm going to try it. Well, it is dried now, but once I get a chance. So this is what it looks like. And then there was a lot of other ones that were, because this was a big chunk. Okay, this is a paper towel. And this may even be a piece right here that when I touched it, kind of rolled up. I don't know what it is, but I have pictures. I just have those 2, and I'm going to be taking more, and I'm looking for them. Okay, so I don't know why this is unfocused. Yeah, this is a dental instrument, but they weren't blurry when I was taking it. So closer. Yeah, there it is again. Have no idea what it is, people. Well, I don't know if I can send it somewhere for analysis. I'd like to, but I don't know where, and I don't know how much it would cost. So if anybody knows how to do that, get in touch with me. Call Pine576@gmail, or go to my Facebook page or my website and leave a message. Let me know. So that's going on. What else is going on? I mean, they're talking about grass in Florida that is has some kind of viral disease in it, and that it's dying. I mean, there's so many things that are going on. 100 dead sharks washed up on the Wales beach. Got this Ebola outbreak that's still going on, and it's just weird. This is from A Plain Truth 2, okay, his video. It's a 6-minute video. Just need to listen to the first couple of minutes. I mean, this thing kills 90% of whoever it affects. And he's talking about some people who are, first of all, you're not supposed to be letting these people out of these Ebola-restricted areas to get on an airplane. I've talked about this before, and let them fly into another country. Now that's either letting it happen, letting it expand, and yeah, it's just they have protocol for this. And yeah, even if they test okay, I mean, isn't there an incubation period? A week or 2 weeks, something like that, 3 days. This Plain Truth 2 claims that these people are flying over into other countries, and 2 weeks later, showing up with Ebola. It is in the United States now. Just don't know how much. Let's go back to that first article I had here. Yeah. Anyways, that was off-season flooding in Venice. Yeah, 4th time since 1872. I mean, it's very unusual in May. These are, sitting out there in the flood. Happening everywhere, people, all over the world. I didn't know what to tell you, except, be aware of these things. Psalms 91, states in there that 10,000 will fall at our right hand, 1,000 at our left, but it won't come to you or I. The ones who are covered under the blood of Jesus, the one who believe in his, saving grace, his stripes, healing from his stripes that he took for us, the beating that he took it. In any case, you need only believe, people. You need only believe. All these things that are going on, there's a lot of people asking, why this, why that, why me? We'll go find out. And anyways, I'm not set to go there at the moment, so I'll just let it go at that. So that's it, everyone. That's just the weather and an update with our food crisis, and it's going to be a crisis, whether it's man-made or because the earth is, changing, or the Father wills it. But these things are here and they're coming. They're going to get worse. Maybe this will also add to the, issuing in of the New World Order and the Antichrist and all that stuff. But you know what? With all those things that are bound, or in Revelation, are prophetic. You should know that we will not be there for that. Pre-trib rapture, right? I can only hope. That's my hope. With that, everyone, God bless. Have a great evening. It is Monday. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say that. It's still Monday. We've got the rest of the week. Peace be with you all. Keep your family close. Keep, phone numbers. Just keep them close. Know where to get in touch with them within, a minute or two, within seconds. Don't go back, once you're called, just don't go back. And just remember Matthew. Anyway, that's it. So I'll see you Wednesday, hopefully. Anything important comes up, I will see you before that. So God bless and peace out.